Welcome back, folks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hockey fans around the world. You have tuned in to the O Hockey Show today, and we are talking about the Ottawa Senators. And you know this because you clicked on the video. You know what I'm talking about. So let's jump into it. So let's start off with the captain of the team, Brady Tkachuk, the guy that led the team, that is a homegrown player. Well, you get what I mean. Brady Tkachuk in points, 67 points, 30 goals, 37 assists. Now, Brady Tkachuk, like his brother Matthew, are both kind of hard-nosed, aggressive, just tough players. I mean, I feel like the Tkachuks are really like they're like the definition of their type of player. You know, they're a Tkachuk type guy, and that's kind of and those two are exactly who they are. I mean, Matthew and Brady. Now, I would say Brady is the lesser of the two, but I mean, when it comes to them, I would say like Matthew has the benefit of playing with guys like, obviously Johnny Hockey. He gets to play with guys like Lindholm, that whole line there. Now he gets to go play in Florida. Brady, of course, is kind of screwed because he's playing with Ottawa, but maybe things are going to start turning around for them. I do think Ottawa is going to be better. I think a lot of people do, but especially now that he's going to be able to play against with guys like Claude Giroux, guys like Alex DeBrincat, who we'll get to. I mean, all these guys on this board here, these guys, either they're going to take a step forward and becoming better, or they're going to, the guys on this board are either going to take a step forward to be better, or they were brought in and are already a better player. So it'll be fun to see what a guy like Brady Tkachuk can do on a team that actually has playoff aspirations. I mean, hopefuls. Now, it is unfortunate that the Senators are in the best division in the whole league, so it is going to be tougher for them to squeak their way into a playoff spot. If they were in the West, I'm sure that this team probably could definitely at least get into a wild card spot. But unfortunately, they're in the East and in the Atlantic Division, which is an even tougher way to get in. So, unfortunate, but I can't wait to see what Brady Tkachuk can do, what he can bring to a team that's trying to win games. And that'll be fun to see. That'll be fun to see, especially now that this team has brought in Alexander DeBrincat. I have always loved Alex DeBrincat. This kid is absolutely phenomenal. I've always said, before people started to catch on to him, he was one of the guys where I was like, this guy is something. This guy with Patty Kane, this guy's going to be something. And he really is. 41 goals, 37 assists, 78 points. I can't wait to see what he can do on a team like this. Now that he's going to have, personally for me, I think DeBrincat might actually, his goals might go down. I think maybe his 41 will maybe go down to like maybe a 30. But I think his assists is going to go up. I think that number's going to rise, especially since he's going to be playing with guys like Tkachuk, guys like Stützle. He's going to have, other than just having Patty Kane to play with, I think he's going to have more players to go off of. In Chicago, he only had one or two guys, Kubalik or Patty Kane, to play with. And now he's going to be on the Ottawa Senators, where he's going to have better potential to have guys try to score goals. So personally, for me, I think DeBrincat he might lower in goals just because the guys around him might not boost him as much, but I think he will boost the guys around him. So I personally think 78 points is kind of where he's going to stick at. I think in the 70s, but I think what's going to happen is that his goals will go down and his assists will rise. And then I think as time goes on and guys below him on this list grow and adapt and become better players, I personally think that DeBrincat, I think this team is going to be a perfect combination of guys. I think they just need help in defense, and you might notice a certain name on the board, but I'll get there when I get there. I think personally for the Ottawa Senators, they just need better defense, a more offensively pushing, producing, rushing team, and I think that's what this team needs. I think right now their defense doesn't match their offense. But anyways, moving on from Alex DeBrincat, we go to Tim Stützle, the guy that just signed the 8-year deal with the Senators to stay till 2031 for $8 million, which is amazing deal for both of them. I think Stützle's worth, I think that's definitely what he's worth. That's kind of the player he is, an $8 million guy. I can see it. But 22 goals, 36 assists, 58 points. Now, Tim Stützle had the second best points for the guy that was on this team. I mean that because DeBrincat had the most points going into this season. But he was from a different team, so you can't really match them together. But anyways, I said Stützle was going to be the guy out of that whole thing between Lafreniere, Byfield, and Stützle. I was like, I always believed Tim Stützle was going to be the guy out of that group, especially since just seeing what he can do with Team Germany in the World Juniors and in the Olympics. He played in the Olympics, right? I think so. Just seeing what he could do by himself and lead that team. He scored like 4 goals in a game or something. I don't entirely remember, but I was like, this guy is the guy. Byfield, I think, did nothing. Lafreniere didn't really participate in that tournament. But from what I saw, Lafreniere sure has the skill. He's got the overall stuff. Byfield's got the body, but Tim Stützle just has that fight. He has the heart. And for me, that's what counts most out of anybody. If you have the heart, that's what's going to win you games. Having skill is just going to give you a head start, but it doesn't get you anything. And having a big guy like Byfield's good if you have guys around him to help him score. And for me personally, Tim Stützle's the guy that would help Byfield score, but Byfield doesn't have anyone like that right now. I mean, he does if he was to play in the top line with guys like Kopitar or whatever. But anyways, that's a whole other story. I knew Tim Stützle would be the guy from that draft. I said he needs to go number 1 overall, and he didn't. And I was kind of shocked. I was like, well, they screwed up. Stützle's going to be the guy, and he is. 58 points. He's only 21 or something? I think he's only 21. I mean, Stützle, already 58 points with I don't want to say a bad team, but just a poor team in the Ottawa Senators. I mean, this kid, he's going to keep taking steps and steps and steps, and guys, and them bringing in talent like DeBrincat, guys like Giroux, guys growing as well like Batherson and Josh Norris. I mean, these guys are only going to take steps forward into the future, and his numbers are only going to go up, not because of his own progression, but the guys around him. So that's going to be fun to see this year as well. The Ottawa Senators this year is just going to be a fun team to watch. Because with guys like Stützle, we got Drake Batherson. Now, Batherson, I don't know if he's underrated, or maybe it's just because he was a rookie. Not a lot of eyes go to the Senators of all teams. But 44 points in 46 games. He was a .96 points per game player. He's almost there. He was basically a point per game for the 46 games he played this season, which is nuts. Absolutely nuts. And Drake Batherson, this is stupid, but in my NHL career GM modes or whatever through every game, he's been a guy that I've picked up each for the last 2 years because I knew he was going to do something, and here he is. He's really flourishing here in the NHL. 44 points, 46 games played. Phenomenal. And once again, the thing that the Ottawa Senators are doing correctly is that they are growing these guys, and sure, by themselves, 67, 58, 44 points. Nothing special, right? That's not groundbreaking by any means. But the thing is that these guys are young, they're growing, and they're bringing in guys that are going to elevate them and also elevate those guys that are bringing them in. So I think I love Drake Batherson. I can't wait to see what his next step is. Because if he was that this year, and now that they brought in guys like Giroux and DeBrincat, I can't, and he plays an entire season hopefully, I can't wait to see what this team can do. And speaking of those guys, Josh Norris. Now, you might be like, why'd you put his name all the way at the bottom without any points or stats or anything? Because for me personally, when it comes to trying to decide the best player on these teams, Josh Norris, 55 points. He's great. He's definitely, he just signed a deal as well. I think he's going to go far. I think he's going to do great. I just don't. Currently, at this moment, just looking at this team, there's no way that I would crown Josh Norris the best player over other guys on this list. And Claude Giroux as well, for the same thing kind of goes. If he only got 65 points between the Flyers and the Florida Panthers, there's no way he's going to do much better on the Ottawa Senators. I think he's bringing in a lot of good talent, a lot of potential. I mean, we know Claude Giroux is going to score some goals, maybe lead this team in goals. But I just don't see him being their best player. But out of this list, who would I grant the best player title to? So, out of the guys on this list, who would I grant the Green Star of Greatness to? Well, as I already said, guys like Josh Norris are great and are going to be superstars, right? But the thing is that when it comes to deciding who's going to be the best player, if you look at Josh Norris and the other guys on this list, there's no way you're going to pick Norris over a guy like Stutzel. So I'm going to wipe out Josh Norris. Same thing for Drew. Drew's getting older. He's not going to get any younger. And just off of the teams that he just did play for, I just don't, with only 65 points, I don't think he's going to do that much better and grab that brass ring with a team like this. So I'm going to wipe those guys out. Now, if you're wondering why I didn't put guys like Thomas Chabot on here, it's just because there's no, he's not their best player. So forget about it. So moving on, Drake Batherson, I'm going to keep him around. Tim Stutzel, when it comes to Stutzel, I love him. I just don't think he's going to take that big step this year, and I think there's other guys still above him in just overallness. So for me personally, I'm going to wipe out Stutzel, and I apologize for that. So when it comes between DeBrincat, Tkachuk, and Batherson, right? I feel like Alex DeBrincat, between them, I just feel like Brady Tkachuk is awesome, but he's not going to be the guy that grabs the brass ring. So for me personally, I was just fooling you all. Tim Stutzel is the superstar of this team. He is going to keep taking steps forward. This kid, Tim Stutzel, with who he's going to get to play with, now that he's going to have established veterans like Drew. I mean, I don't know who he's going to play with, but I would put him personally with Drew and DeBrincat, or maybe Tkachuk, Stutzel, and Drew. One of those guys. He needs a goal scorer to get assists from. And with his points, I don't know if his goals goes up a ton. I think it will because he's just going to keep growing, right? So I would say like somewhere in the 20s still, but playing with a guy like Drew or DeBrincat, whichever one, I think his number, that assist category, is going to go way up, and I think he gets to like 50 assists, and he's going to get to like 70 to 80 points this year. That's my prediction. I think Tim Stutzel's going to be the guy. So that is how I feel. If you think I'm absolutely stupid for choosing that, make sure you go down to the comments section. Tell me how much of an idiot this guy is. This guy right here. Tell me how much of an idiot I am. So please do that right after you go down below and hit that red subscribe button to pick up your free subscription. It's free. Just do it if you liked it. Leave a like, not a dislike, but go down below to the comments section. Tell me all that good stuff that I just told you how stupid I am, and tell me who do you think is the best player if it's not Tim Stutzel. If you pick a guy like Drake Batherson, I wouldn't blame you. DeBrincat, personally, I like him the best on this list, but I think Tim Stutzel, just with him growing and the guys around him being better now, I think he's going to be the superstar. But that's how I feel. Tell me how you feel down below. And until next time, I hope you have an amazing day, all you beautiful people out there. So make sure you keep a smile on your face. And that is coming from your host, the dapperly dressed Owen. Too sweet. Have an awesome day. And ta-ta for now.